Hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about MCU speculation, but this time how it's a positive thing for collectors. MCU speculation is kind of a dirty word in the community. It's something that inspires great fear of spending lots of money on certain books, only to find they're worth a fraction of what you once paid for them. Well, I'm going to be talking about a character today and unboxing a book that I got significantly cheaper than fair market value, all because of what the MCU did to this character. So right off the bat, what we're going to be talking about is Adam Warlock. If you haven't already, you got to go see the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. The movie was incredible, but Adam Warlock in the movie is not the Adam Warlock that we know and love from the comic books and even the video game.
Okay, what's your deal, man? What did I do to piss you off?
Your lamentable leadership allowed the Madonna to leave when we needed her talents to travel to the telepathic realm. Your tenuous tactics trust too much to fortune. Can you confidently convince me your meager measures may amply manage this mission?
Adam Warlock suffers from a couple things in comic books that are super detrimental to the value of a first key appearance. The first thing is he has multiple technical first appearances. And I'm going to go through some of the books because I have many of the books tied to Adam Warlock or him or the Cocoon, all tied to that first appearance. The first book I'm talking about is this Fantastic Four number 66. This is the origin of him or the Cocoon. So this is not really accepted as his first appearance or even his first cameo appearance, nothing like that. But it is his origin, and it is the start of the mention of the Cocoon. This next book, Fantastic Four 67, now this is arguably, technically you could say his first appearance. If you look at the panels of this book, at the very end when Adam Warlock or him emerges from the Cocoon, he speaks, he says he's him. It's technically one of those situations where it's his first appearance, but it's hampered because he's in the daggone Cocoon. Another thing that really affects the value of his first appearance and his value just in comic books from a collecting perspective is his costume change. So when we first see Adam Warlock or him, he is nothing like what we see him as he goes into the 80s and into the 90s. His first costume change happens in this Strange Tales number 180. This is the first appearance of Gamora. I think it's the second appearance of Pip the Troll. And it's the third appearance of something, I can't remember. But this is the first appearance of his new costume, which we can see on the cover. This is a terrible cover for the first appearance of Gamora, and what crushes the value of this book, but it's his first appearance of his new costume. This is speaking of this book, we can kind of equate this to the values of first appearances. Because Gamora is not on the cover, this isn't a super highly sought after book for anybody outside of like Guardians of the Galaxy collectors or people that really love that character. It's just, it's an awesome cover, but it just has nothing to do with Gamora. Another important issue in this whole Adam Warlock shenanigans is this one, Warlock number 9, and this is the origin of Magus. So Adam Warlock has this alter ego where he can become evil. He is kind of a stoic character a lot in the comics. And if you compare that to what we see on the big screen, he's just kind of like a goofball. He's kind of like a child, which they explain that he came out of the Cocoon too early and it was like he wasn't cooked long enough, and he's not like disabled. He's just like a child. And that's kind of how they explain away why he's not what he is in the comic books. It's fine as a plot device, but to comic fans and collectors and readers, it's like that wasn't what we thought would happen. Now, the good thing is he's just getting his start. It's just where he started in the, just getting his start in the movies. We're going to see him more and more down the road, but it's like that's not the Adam Warlock that we know. And he's so powerful. He's one of the most powerful beings in the universe, and in the Marvel universe. It's evidence right here. It's like Warlock in the Infinity Watch, where he's actually like wielding the Infinity Gauntlet, and he was like crucial to defeating Thanos in the Infinity Gauntlet comics. So when I knew when they were building all that in Infinity War and Endgame and stuff, and there was no sign of Warlock coming, they kind of shoehorned in Captain Marvel to try to get her powers in there. There was no sign of Adam Warlock coming. So now it just seems like what they're going to do is just they're going to build him into the new Guardians of the Galaxy team, which, if we look back, he was one of the initial members of the Guardians of the Galaxy, including Quasar, which they also haven't brought in. I think they make these changes because, if a character is too stoic or a character, doesn't have that humor, and especially in like a James Gunn movie, they have to change him because there can only be so many like deadpan characters, and there are a lot of them. But then you can take it to the extreme, like they did with the Thor: Love and Thunder, where it's just like everybody's silly, and it just kind of loses you. All right, so let's bust into this box and let's take a look at this book of the first appearance of Adam Warlock. Again, I'm getting this book from Monster Comic Shop on Instagram. Probably some of the cheapest key issues you can find on Instagram. All right, as he usually does, he always sends me a free comic. This is funny. New Avengers number 26. This is a Scarlet Witch cover. I was almost going to buy this on one of my hunting trips when I was in Winston-Salem. It's funny that I didn't pick that up, and now I have a copy. I like that cover, too. But the reason I made the purchase from our friend is this right here for $200. Spoilers. This is Thor 165, the first appearance of him, aka Adam Warlock. Let's take a closer look. Thor 165, Marvel Comics, June 1969. Oh, it's got a date stamp. First full appearance of him, Warlock, Watcher appearance. Last 12-cent issue of Thor, I'm assuming. Stan Lee story, Jack Kirby and Vince Colletta cover and art. Wow, this is a clean copy. So we've got some dirt there in the lettering of Thor. Like I said, it's got that date stamp, April 2nd. Interesting. Take a look at the back. Oh, wow. This book's never been cleaned. Oh, God. 6.0 off-white to white pages. Oh, man, this book's never been cleaned. Oh, God. Are we going down the rabbit hole of resubmitting again? I don't know. When I saw the price on this book, I was like, not only bingo of jumping onto this book in this kind of grade, a Silver Age book and a 6.0, I'm jumping of a major key issue and a first appearance of a hero. I'm jumping all over that. When I saw that that price had dropped this low, I was like, oh my God, this is a video. This is something that we have to talk about. So again, this is what happens. So we saw, the speculation was Warlock's coming. We're going to get him in the Guardians movie. We didn't know what he looked like. We knew who he was going to be played by. But then we see the actor in the role. We see him in the costume. We see him with the gold face paint. How are they going to do that? And then that's when it's like the peak. Like that's when the book is the most expensive. And then after that, it's slowly crashing. And then till now, this is being filmed in mid to late June. What are we, a month and a half out from the Guardians movie being released? And this book has crashed. I had an opportunity to buy this book at a local show. I believe it was in January of this year. In a grade that was similar to this, maybe a 5.0, maybe a 6.0 raw. Guy would not take $500 for the book. And man, I'm glad he didn't. $200 for this book. I think the MCU is kind of like twofold. It's a positive thing for collectors. It's super negative for like the market and the volatility. Just evidence right here. But it's a really good thing for collectors that really want the books at a reasonable price point and care about the character and want the character. This is like a perfect example. You just wait. You wait until They either screw it up on the movie or the show, and everybody gets mad. All the speculator hype train falls off the map. Then you just kind of bide your time, and then boom, you get a $200 Silver Age 6.0 first appearance. I can't believe I got this for this cheap. But this is what I'm talking about, guys. The MCU is a loaded gun. You don't know what's going to happen. I think right now, like the DC keys, they're starting to creep back up, or they're really just kind of holding their value. They seem very, very steady. It seems like the DC books are the way to go as far as buying something, and it's going to hold its value. You don't have these big whirlwinds of price shakeups. The Marvel books they're crazy. They can just do anything. Guys, do you own this book? Are you going to pick up this book? Let me know. If at any point in time you like this video, give it the thumbs up. And if you like this video, subscribe for more. Take care.